Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another Bible reading. I'm not outside today because it's very hot and I gotta go check the mail here in a minute, so I'm just gonna try to read these 2 pages. Maybe I'll read 4 pages, I don't know yet, but I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start right now. When Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said that's my man. Oh, that's the man I told you about. He will rule my people. Just then Saul approached Samuel and asked, Can you help me? Can you tell me where the seer's house is? I am the seer, Samuel replied. Go on up to the hill ahead of me and we'll eat together. In the morning I will tell you what you want to know and send you on your way. And don't worry about those donkeys that were lost 3 days ago, for they have been found. And anyway, you own all the wealth of Israel now. Pardon me, sir, Saul replied. I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, the smallest in Israel, and my family is the least important of all the families of the tribe. You must have the wrong man. Then Samuel took Saul and his servant into the great hall and placed them at the head of the table, honoring them above the 30 special guests. Samuel then instructed the chief to bring Saul the choicest cut of meat, the piece that had been set aside for the guest of honor. So the chief brought it in and placed it before Saul. Go ahead and eat it, Saul said, or Samuel said, for I was saving it for you even before I invited these others. So Saul ate with Samuel. After that feast, when they had returned to the city, Samuel took Saul up to the porch on the roof and talked with him there. At daybreak the next morning, Samuel called up to him, Get up, it's time you were on your way. Get up, it's time you were on your way. So Saul got up and Samuel accompanied him to the edge of the city. Where they reached the city walls, Samuel told Saul to send the servant on ahead. Then he told him, sorry, something in my throat. I have received a special message for you from the Lord. Then Samuel took a flask of olive oil, and poured it over Saul's head, and kissed him on the cheek and said, I am doing this because the Lord has appointed you to be king of his people of Israel. When you leave me, you will see 2 men beside Rachel's tomb at Zelah in the land of Benjamin. They will tell you that the donkeys have been found and that your father is worried about you and is asking, How am I to find my son? And when you get to the oak of Tabor, you will see 3 men coming toward you who are on their way to worship God at the altar of Bethel. One will be carrying 3 young goats, another will have 3 loaves of bread, and the third will have a bottle of wine. They will greet you and offer you 2 of the loaves which you are to accept. After that you will come to Gibeath, also known as God's Hill, where the garrison of the Philistines is. As you arrive there, you will meet a band of prophets coming down the hill, playing a psaltery, a timbrel, a flute, I don't know what those are, and a harp, and prophesying as they come. At that time, the Spirit of the Lord will come mightily upon you, and you will prophesy. Prophesy. I'm going to close my door real quick. I kind of lost where I was at. Come upon you, prophecy with them, you will feel and act like a different person from that time on. Your decisions shall be based on whatever seems best under the circumstances. For the Lord will guide you. Go to Gilgal and wait there 7 days for me, for I will be coming to sacrifice burnt offerings and peace offerings. I will give you further instructions when I arrive. As Saul said goodbye and started to go, God gave him a new attitude, and all of Samuel's prophecies came true that day. When Saul and the servant arrived at the hill of God, they saw the prophets coming toward them, and the Spirit of God came upon him, and he too began to prophesy. began to prophesy. When his friends heard about it, they exclaimed, "What, Saul, a prophet?" And one of the neighbors added, "With a father like this, so that is the origin of the proverb. Is Saul a prophet too?" When Saul had finished prophesying, he climbed the hill to the altar. Where in the world did you go?" Saul's uncle asked him, and Saul replied, "We went to look for the donkeys, but we could not find them. So we went to the prophet Samuel to ask him where they were." "Oh, and what did he say?" his uncle asked. "He said the donkeys had been found," Saul replied, "but he didn't tell him that he had been anointed as king." Samuel now called a conviction of all Israel at Mizpah, and gave them his message from the Lord God. "I brought you from Egypt and rescued you from the Egyptians and from all the nations that were torturing you. But although I have done so much for you, you have rejected me and have said, 'We want a king instead.' All right then, present yourselves before the Lord by tribes and clans." So Samuel called the tribe leaders together before the Lord, and the tribe of Benjamin was chosen by sacred lot. Then he brought each family of the tribe of Benjamin before the Lord, and the family of the Merarites were chosen. And finally the sacred lot selected Saul, the son of Kish. But when they looked for him, he had disappeared. So they asked the Lord, "Where is he? Is he among us?" And the Lord replied, "He is hiding in the baggage." So they found him and brought him out, and he stood head and shoulders above anyone else. Then Samuel said to all the people, "This is the man the Lord has chosen as your king. There isn't his equal in all of Israel." And all the people shouted, "Long live the king." Then Samuel told the people again what the rights and duties of the king were. He wrote them in a book and put them in a special place before the Lord. Then Samuel sent the people home again. When Saul returned to his home at Gibeah, a band of men whose hearts the Lord had touched became his constant companions. There were, however, some bums and loafers who exclaimed, "How can this man save us?" And they despised him and refused to bring him presents. But he took no notice. Of Jabesh Gilead, but the citizens of Jabesh asked for peace. "Leave us alone and we'll be your servants," they pleaded. "All right," Nashia said, "but only on one condition. I will gouge out the right eye of every one of you as a disgrace upon all of Israel." "Give us 7 days to see if we can get some help," replied the elders of Jabesh. "If none of our brothers will come and save us, we will agree to your terms." When a messenger came to Gibeah, Saul's hometown, and told the people about their plight, everyone broke into tears. Saul was plowing in a field, and when he returned to town, he asked, "What's the matter? Why is everyone crying?" So they told him about the message from Jabesh. Then the Spirit of God came strongly upon Saul, and he became very angry. He took 2 oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent messengers to carry them throughout all of Israel. "This is what will happen to the oxen of anyone who refuses to follow Saul and Samuel to battle," he announced. And God caused the people to be afraid of Saul's anger, and they came to him as one man. He counted them in Bezek, and found that there were 300,000 of them, in addition to 30,000 from Judah. So he sent the messengers back to Jabesh to say, "We will rescue you before tomorrow noon." What joy there was throughout the city when that message arrived. The men of Jabesh then told their enemies, we surrender. Tomorrow we will come out to you, and you can do to us as you wish. But early the next morning, Saul arrived, having divided his army into 3 detachments, and launched a surprise attack against the Amalekites, and slaughtered them all morning. The remnant of their army was so badly scattered that no 2 of them were left together. Then the people exclaimed to Samuel, "Where are those men who said that Saul shouldn't be our king? Bring them here and we will kill them." But Saul replied, "No, no one will be executed today, for today the Lord has rescued Israel." Then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal and reconfirm Saul as our king." So they went to Gilgal, whatever that is, and in a solemn ceremony before the Lord, they crowned him as king. Then they offered peace offerings to the Lord, and Saul and all Israel were very happy. Then Samuel addressed the people again. "Look," he said, "I have done as you asked. I have given you a king. I have selected him ahead of my own sons, and now I stand here, an old gray-haired man, who has been in public service from the time he was a lad. Now tell me, as I stand before the Lord and before an anointed king, whose ox or donkey have I stolen? Have I ever defrauded you? Have I ever oppressed you? Have I ever taken a bribe? Tell me, and I will make right whatever I have done wrong." "No," they replied, "you have never defrauded or oppressed us in any way. You have never taken even one single bribe." "The Lord and his anointed king are my witnesses," Samuel declared, "that you can never accuse me of robbing you." "Yes, it is true," they replied. "It was the Lord who has appointed Moses and Aaron," Samuel continued. "He brought your ancestors out of the land of Egypt. Now stand here quietly before the Lord as I remind you of all the good things he has done for you, and for your ancestors. When the Israelites were in Egypt and cried out to the Lord, he sent Moses and Aaron to bring them into the land. But they soon forgot about the Lord their God, so he let them be conquered by Syria, the general of King Hazor's army, and by the Philistines, and the king of Moab. Then they cried out to the Lord again and confessed that they had sinned by turning away from him and worshipping the Baal and Asheroth idols. And they pleaded, "We will worship you and you alone if you will only rescue us from our enemies." Then the Lord sent Gideon, Barak, Jethan, and Samuel to save you, and you lived in safety. Oh, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. But when you were afraid of Nashan, the king of Ammon, you came to me and said that you wanted a king to reign over you. But the Lord your God was already your king, for he has always been your king. All right, here's your king you have chosen. Look him over. You have asked for him, and the Lord has answered your request. Now, if you will fear and worship the Lord and listen to his commandments and not rebel against the Lord, and if both you and your king follow the Lord your God, then all will be well. But if you rebel against the Lord's commandments and you refuse to listen to him, then his hand will be as heavy upon you as it was upon your ancestors. Now watch as the Lord does great miracles. You know that it does not rain at this time of year, but during the wheat harvest I will pray for the Lord to send thunder and rain today, so that you will realize the extent of your wickedness in asking for a king. So Samuel called to the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain. All of the people were very much afraid of the Lord and of Samuel. "Pray for us lest we die," they cried out to Samuel. "For now we have added to all our other sins by asking for a king." "Don't be frightened," Samuel reserved them. Reserved? I don't know. "You have certainly done wrong, but make sure now that you worship the Lord with true enthusiasm, and that you don't turn your back on him in any way. Other gods can't help you. The Lord will not abandon his chosen people, for that would dishonor his great name. He made you a special nation for himself just because he wanted to. As for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by ending my prayers for you. And I will continue to teach you those things which are good and right. Trust the Lord and sincerely worship him. Think of all the tremendous things he has done for you. But if you continue to sin, you and your king will be destroyed. By this time, Saul had reigned for 1 year. In the second year of his reign, he selected 3,000 special troops and took 2,000 of them with him to Michmash and Mount Bethel, while the other 1,000 remained with Jonathan, Saul's son, in and the land of Benjamin. The rest of the armies was sent home. Then Jonathan attacked and destroyed the garrison of the Philistines at Gibeah. The news spread quickly throughout the land of the Philistines, and Saul sounded the call to arms throughout Israel. He announced that he had destroyed the Philistine garrison and warned his troops that they stay. Wait, what? Warned his troops that they stank to high heaven as far as the Philistines were concerned. So the entire Israel army mobilized again and joined at Gilgal. The Philistines recruited a mighty army of 3,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and so many soldiers that they were as thick as sand along the seashores. And they camped at Mishkiah, east of Bethaven. When the men of Israel saw the vast mass of enemy troops, they lost their nerve entirely and tried to hide in caves, thickets covering among the rocks, and even in tombs and cernists, whatever those are. Some of them crossed the Jordan River and escaped to the land of Gad and Gilead. Meanwhile, Saul stayed at Gilgal, and those who were with him trembled with fear at what awaited them. Samuel had told Saul earlier to wait 7 days for his arrival, but when he still didn't come and Saul's troops were rapidly slipping away, he decided to sacrifice the burnt offerings and peace offerings himself. But just as he was finishing, Samuel arrived. Saul went out to meet him and to receive his blessings. But Samuel said, "What is this you have done?" Well, Saul replied, "When I saw that my men were scattering from me and that you hadn't arrived by the time you said you would, and that the Philistines were at Mishkiah, ready for battle, I said, the Philistines are ready to march against us, and I haven't even asked for the Lord's help. So I reluctantly offered the burnt offering without waiting for your arrival." "You fool," Samuel exclaimed. "You have disobeyed his commandments, or the commandments of the Lord your God. He was planning to make you and your descendants kings of Israel forever, but now your dynasty must end. For the Lord wants a man who will obey him, and he has discovered the man he wants, and has already appointed him as king over his people, for you have not obeyed the Lord's command." Samuel then left Gilgal and went to Gibeah in the land of Benjamin. When Saul counted the soldiers who were still with him, he found that there were only about 600 left. Saul and Jonathan and these 600 men set up their camp in Gibeah in the land of Benjamin, but the Philistines stayed at Michmash. 3 companies of raiders soon left the camp of the Philistines and went towards Orphria in the land of Shaul. Another went to Bethoria and the third moved towards the border above the valley of Zeboim, near the desert. There were no blacksmiths at all in the land of Israel in those days, for the Philistines wouldn't allow them for fear of their making swords and spears for the Hebrews. So wherever the Israelites So whenever the Israelites needed to sharpen their plowshares, discus, axes, and sickles, they had to take them to Philistine blacksmiths. The schedule of charges was as follows, and it's just naming how much it was. So there was not a single sword or spear in the entire army of Israel that day except for Saul's and Jonathan's. The mountain passed at Mishkamash, whatever that is, had meanwhile been secured by a contingent, whatever that word is, contingent of the Philistine army. A day or so later, Prince Jonathan said to his young bodyguard, "Come on, let's cross the valley to the garrison of the Philistines." But he didn't tell his father that he was leaving. Saul and his 600 men were camped at the edge of Gibeah, around the pomegranate tree at Migron. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I am on Samuel 1:14. Let me grab just in case this page flips over. Oops. But I'm at 1 Samuel 14 to Samuel 15, page 238 to 239. That's all I'm going to read for today. I got 4 pages out, about a 23-minute video, so I'm happy about that. And again, I just have the same message as I always do. If you are struggling with sin, please do not give in. It's never going to feel good. It's never going to... I'll be honest with me, I do fall into sin a lot, and I've said this multiple times on my video. I say it almost every day, because it's true, and I do fall into sin pretty much every day. And for me, I keep telling myself that maybe if I just give in this one time, maybe I'll be able to... maybe I'll wake up with more enthusiasm to do better, but the same thing happens. I wake up the next morning and I just have the same exact desires, and it doesn't make it makes it worse, to be honest. So again, don't think to yourself and don't tell yourself that maybe if I give in, it'll be different. It's always going to get worse. It is always going to make your desires a lot worse and a lot harder to fight against. So for now, I just have the same message. Just try your hardest not to give in. I'm going to try my hardest today to be better. I made a whole plan for myself of working out and just trying to mark down the days that I get good at, or the days that I don't fall into sin or lust or whatever it is. So I'm just going to keep updating y'all every day on how I'm doing with that. I hope that I can do a little bit better today. So again, just try your hardest. If you are feeling like you're about to sin, go to God first and try to ask Him for strength, and just try to struggle, because you have to. It's never just going to go away. That's something I have to tell myself. The desire isn't going to go away just because I prayed. That's not how that works. You still have to fight against that desire, and it might suck, but that's just how it is. That's how it's going to be no matter what. So just continue to fight against it. Continue to try your hardest to get away from anything that is fueling this desire, whether it's Instagram, whether it's your phone, your games, whatever it could be that's making it worse. Get away from that. Try to go outside, go on walks, go on a little run, try to exercise a little bit. I know I did that this morning, and it helped me out a lot. I made my breakfast and everything, and I'm feeling good, so I'm just, I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm going to try to do better tonight, and I'll let you guys know how that works tomorrow. Hopefully I'll record a gaming video today. I don't know, but we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. God bless you all, and peace out.